I'm Amy with Expand Outdoors, and I have Andrea Nickerson with me. I'm super excited. She is a late blooming athlete, and as you guys know, I have a whole series on late blooming athletes, and these are people who discover the outdoors and discover fitness later in life as adults. And Andrea has an incredible story that she is going to share with us today. Um, a little bit of history for her. She's out of the San Francisco area, and she's going to climb Mount Rainier.
Mhm.
So, Andrea, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Rainier. How, for those of people who don't know, it's a mountain in outside of Seattle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And tell us about the hike. What are you in for? How high is it? How long of the hike is it?
It's 14,000 feet. It's 3 days.
Awesome.
Um, I forget exactly at what elevation we start, but
Okay.
yeah, it's a 3 day climb. Well, it's a 2 day climb, I guess, and there's one day that we're spending in between to acclimate to
Oh,
the
nice.
to the altitude. So that'll be good.
Nice.
Um, yeah, it's the highest glaciated mountain in the lower 48 states. So, and it's also one of the mountains that people use to train to climb Mount Everest.
Awesome. Awesome. So this is a big deal.
It is. So I have no mountaineering experience and very little hiking experience as well before deciding to train for this.
Yeah, so let's back up and tell us a little bit about your history. When we talked before,
Hmm.
you told me a little bit about growing up and then getting sick and being pretty active as a kid, and
Hmm.
then what was it, like 10 years
Hmm.
that you didn't do anything. So can you just kind of give us a brief history
Sure.
of that?
So I played sports all growing up, every season. So soccer, basketball, softball, and swimming. And um, I got pneumonia a lot as a kid, and I ended up going to the hospital for pneumonia, and then in like sixth grade, let's say, and then in high school, I wanted to kind of bloom into a basketball athlete.
Hmm.
But freshman year, I got mono, and I just never went back to being athletic. I was sort of too intimidated to train again. And yeah, so, and then all through high school and college, I've been pretty much completely inactive. So yeah, this has been, I mean, I hadn't put it in this context, but yeah, this has been a return to activity and fitness. It's also much different this time, I think.
How so?
It's different I because I've like because I'm more equipped to to deal with my emotions and mindset about being active and being competitive. And when I was younger, I didn't have those skills. And I played sports every year, um, but I didn't. I never felt good at it. I never felt like I was felt. I don't know, like I just wanted to blend in or something. I don't know. I didn't want to be aggressive. I didn't,
Mm,
it took me, I mean, I played soccer for 9 years and I scored one goal at the end of my 9 years. One goal. Like, so that's, I mean, that was yeah, there's a good
yeah.
example of,
You got sick.
yes,
Started feeling pretty sluggish, stopped
yes,
sports in high school.
yeah,
Um, and so you're in your early 20s now, kind of mid early 20s,
yeah.
and suddenly you're climbing Rainier. How did that happen?
Um, well, my uncle is turning 60. My dad and my uncle are twins, and they're turning 60. And so he emailed our family and said, I want to climb Mount Rainier. I think everyone should do this in their lifetime. You guys should come with me. Da, da, da.
Nice.
And so my brothers got an email And I was home for Christmas. We were all home for Christmas, and they were like, "Are you gonna go on the trip? You're gonna go, right?" And I was like, "What trip?" Because I had not gotten an email. Um, and and then like a few weeks later, I got an email that was like, I didn't think you guys were really going to be interested, so I didn't ask you, but that was a silly idea. So do you guys want to come? To me and a few of my cousins. And so I just said yes.
Did you know what you were getting into?
No, I had literally just moved to San Francisco 2 weeks prior, so
Oh,
I
wow.
I had nothing going on. Like I had nothing in my life besides a part-time job, and I was like, okay, yeah, okay. Well, I mean, if I do this, then I'll have to join a gym. Now that I'm much thinner, I feel like I was pretty overweight. I didn't think I was overweight then.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, you talked about a before and after picture that they put up at the gym that was pretty inspiring for you, would you say?
Yeah, it was, yeah, just that event in itself is something that I never expected to be recognized in any way for anything that I did with my body.
Right.
Um, yeah, I've just sort of not felt like I've been good at that.
Yeah.
I've been good at a lot of things, but not that. So
Right.
it
Right.
was, yeah, the, yeah, and I mean, it's literally a picture of like 4 days before I left to move across the country too,
Okay.
versus, 8 months into this journey.
Tell us about the journey. So you signed up, it's Christmas, and
Yeah.
so we're in May of 2012, and you're climbing in July, so you're just a couple months away.
Huh.
Um, was this Christmas of 2010?
Oh, you know what? I'm getting the timing wrong. Hold on. It was over the summer.
Okay.
It was over the summer, yeah. And then
Okay.
I moved out here. Yeah, that's what it was, because it was August.
Okay. So
Yeah.
August of 2011.
Yes.
So you had a year. You've been inactive for 10 years, feeling
Mhm.
sluggish, feeling somewhat overweight,
Totally.
and then you signed up to climb Rainier without any idea, like, kind of what you were doing.
Yeah.
So how did you get started? What was your first step, and just kind of walk us through your training a little bit.
I joined a gym and they immediately gave me like a free session with a trainer, basically.
Nice.
Um, and so I walked into that, and I think if I remember correctly, she gave me a big like nutrition lecture, just like calories and intake and all this stuff. I think that's, and then I suddenly was just like signing up with this trainer and meeting with this person once a week and having them like, make me do things. Basically just weight training. I I almost felt like I needed the full year to get to train, even though I didn't really start training till January.
Okay.
And so I basically was just in the gym for months. And I think her goal for me, which was totally outlandish to me at the time, was to come in 5 days a week and work out. And then, like, one day a week, I would have like active rest, like an activity that I would be doing that wasn't very strenuous,
Right.
which is like, that's 6 days a week. That's like 6 times more active than I've ever been. Um,
And totally ridiculous to you at the time.
yeah, yeah.
Is it
But I did
ridiculous
it.
today?
I mean, I found out, and it's still true, that the fifth day of the week at the gym, I hate. Like, makes me bitter and angry, and like, I hate it. So that's just like, it's just like, that's too much. That's still my limit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so, so yeah, um, so I basically tried to get in shape and lose weight from August to December or so.
Okay.
And then was the holiday season.
Okay.
Everyone knows about the holiday season. going home and, coming back. And then, and then January was supposed to start, and I probably didn't really start doing, specific things for this climb until February. I will add, just especially for people who are doing this, that I would lose weight and then it would feel very uncomfortable to me, so I would gain it. I would gain some back. So I kept going forward and slowing down and for that whole getting fit period. Because these processes aren't just like, they're not perfect.
Right, right. So you'd gain a little bit of strength and then feel like this wasn't really you, so you go back to more comfortable habits, which would then
Um,
result in how.
it wasn't, no, it was literally just like, um, I've loved weightlifting the entire
Hmm.
time.
Okay.
Okay, not the entire time, but I've been pretty into that part of it. And I would lose another like dress size or pant size. And I would just I would be getting like different kinds of attention that I hadn't gotten before, and it was kind of confusing. And
Hmm.
so then and just like, also, I'm in a new place on a different, and like to not recognize yourself in the mirror is like a little disconcerting. So I would just like put on, a pound or two or three back. And then I would lose. I mean, it would just be too fast, basically, for
Okay.
me personally.
Yeah. And it's a process, like you said. It's a
Yeah.
journey that we go on. You've moved into a brand new city. What's
Yeah.
your support system like? How have you managed to, get out of the gym, find people to help? You know, what's that process been like for you?
Um, well, I joined the San Francisco Gay Hiking Club in February, but I didn't actually get the courage to hike with them until March, probably. Um, and then I just started going every weekend that it wasn't rained out.
Okay.
It's an amazing club. It's like 30 years old, and this is basically all of these older white gay men who get together every weekend and hike somewhere in the Bay. And
Nice.
the club is known for strenuous hikes.
Which is exactly what you need.
Exactly. And so every weekend I've been, hanging out with these guys who have become my friends, which is really sweet. And they know a lot more about outside and equipment and hiking. They know a lot more about hiking than I do. So I've been just like learning from them.
What about the mental aspect? So the physical aspect is, losing the weight,
Hmm.
getting stronger, finding the support, getting outside, doing the strenuous hikes.
Hmm.
What about the mental challenges for you? What has been the most challenging aspect?
Um, that's sort of the most interesting part for me right now, because physically I'm where I would want to be, um, in the timeline. Yeah, it's I well, my motivation has changed a lot.
What was
Or
it originally?
my motivation was to impress my uncle, to impress my brothers, to
Right?
impress people at the gym. Like, yeah, just, I mean, my own internal, like, why I was doing this was just to see what would happen, and I wanted to impress everyone. And now
Right?
I have impressed everyone, you know, and so then all of a sudden I realized I had done
Now what?
what had motivated me, I had accomplished, and I didn't know why I was doing this. I sort of realized that this is like being fit and having a body that I like that works better and is like, I feel much closer to it because I spend time with it, and I have to take care of it. I have to feed it the right things. I have to feed it on time, you know.
Right.
I have to drink water, like all these little things, is like, it's just a better expression of myself. For me, it all comes up to like, this is just a better way of living for me. And that's it.
I love that. I love the better expression of who you are. It's
Yeah.
just, it's what you exude to the world, it's what you present, it's
Yeah.
how you feel and how you are in the world.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
congratulations. That's huge. That's wonderful.
Yeah. This part of my journey is part of it's part of this whole like life changing thing. As
Yeah.
how can it not be when you change your body?
So, what keeps you motivated today?
Um, I don't know. I'm still kind of struggling with that question. I've asked other people too. Um, because I do feel a little bit at a plateau, or a little bit, I don't know. I think it's still in between is the thing. I don't feel like mentally the perfect, like where I would ideally want to be. I feel like part of me is still wondering what's going to happen. Like when I started, what's going to happen? I
Yeah.
don't I don't know what's going to happen. Sure, let's do this.
Yep.
Um, and the other part of me now knows that I want this to be a part of my life. And I have a lot of, I'm afraid of climbing this mountain and not, and like, and letting myself down and not being active after that. I really don't think that that's going to happen, but like, I'm really scared.
Yeah.
In a few weeks, I'm moving away from my gym, and I'm not going to be working with this trainer anymore. And, I'm not going to have for the 4 weeks of the final month of training, I'm not going to have anything that I've had that's been supporting me along the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm like,
Well, the good news is that you'll be in taper mode for a lot of that, so you won't have to do
right.
you know, that's not the crux of the training. You've done all the training. You are ready. Like you've done it. You'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
what inspires you about being active in the outdoors? Like, is there a difference for you between the gym and the outdoors?
Yes. I think that having spoken with you, I feel I'm really in like a very city environment, and I definitely, I'm excited to be moving somewhere else where the access to outside is easier. Um, it's really beautiful here. It's a beautiful part of the country, and
Yeah.
um, being outside, it feels simpler, which is sometimes not easier.
No.
Um,
The sage words.
but it feels simpler, what you're
Yeah.
doing, and um, you're outside and you're exerting yourself, and the air is right there, and the sun is right there, and the
Yeah.
elements are kind of, it feels different to consider all of those things. I did a huge hike this weekend, and um, just the things of like stopping, eating, how much am I sweating,
Right.
taking your hat off when you rest so that you're like, your
Yeah.
head cools down. I mean, but keeping your hat on, because if you take in all of that sun, it's going to deplete you while you're hiking.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that's so beautiful. Going to the gym and being diligent is beautiful too. And I really do, I love weight training. But, yeah.
Yeah. The outdoors has a power.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your hike is in early July.
Yes.
So I want to say thank you for um, being here today and sharing your story.
Mm-hmm.
I the journey that you've been on has been one of discovery and empowerment and just all kinds of new, which is really, really exciting. I'm super excited for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to let everyone know that we will be back in July to find out how Andrea does and talk to her about what the trip was like and what the experiences were like, and then what's next, what's on your mind, because I know that you're already thinking ahead to, okay, so we'll do Rainier now, what's next?
Yeah.
So we'll touch on that and see see if you have any insights and maybe hear from some of our listeners and readers who
Yeah.
have are in the outdoors and
Yeah.
have any suggestions for you. So
Yeah. That sounds great.
awesome, awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.